All right, welcome to the webinar, everyone. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about Oceans Technology, which is a graduate certificate program here at NSCC. So we're just going to start with some land acknowledgements. So NSCC is located in Mi'kma'ki, the unceded territory and traditional homeland of the Mi'kmaq Nation. Our relationship is based on a series of peace and friendship treaties between the Mi'kmaq Nation and the Crown, dating back to 1725. As treaty beneficiaries, we recognize that we are all treaty people. NSCC also recognizes the African Nova Scotians as a distinct group who arrived here 400 years ago. From that time on, they've contributed to the infrastructure and economic wealth of the towns and cities they helped to build, or from which they could not benefit. Let us learn more about how our respective communities were shaped by the historical contributions of African Nova Scotians to Mi'kmaq. Right, so welcome to the webinar. So if this is your first webinar with us at NSCC, you'll notice a control panel on the side of your screen. So for the duration of the webinar, we won't be able to see or hear you, so you can sit back and relax and enjoy all this great information about Oceans Technology. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, you can use the questions box, which again is located in that control panel. We'll answer some questions throughout the webinar, but for the majority of them, we'll save them till the end. If you have any questions that might come up after the webinar, or if your question might be personal in nature, questions about your own application or transcripts or anything like that, you can send them to recruitment@nscc.ca. Today is April 18th, 2024, so if you're watching this recording after the fact, information may change, so check our website for the most up-to-date information. So we'll do some quick introductions. My name is Jessica, and I'm a student recruitment coordinator here at NSCC. And I'm also joined by two faculty for Oceans Technology, so you guys can take it away and introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Alfred White, and like Jessica said, I'm faculty with Ocean Technologies here at Ivany campus.
Hello, everyone. My name is Stefan Kirchhoff. Yes, I'm a co-faculty here with Alfred. We're the main instructors for the Ocean Tech program.
Great, thanks so much. So we're gonna hear a little bit more from Alfred and Stefan later. We're just gonna get through a couple slides here and then hand it over to them. So NSCC is the Nova Scotia Community College. We are a college system in Nova Scotia, obviously. One thing that sets us apart from other schools is that we rely or focus a lot on graduate employment. So you'll see throughout these slides that a lot of focus is put on our students and how employable they'll be when they finish whatever program they're taking here. We have locations throughout Nova Scotia. I'll touch on that in the next slide. And very specialized programs. So today we're talking about Oceans Technology, which is a very specialized program and one that you won't find very many other places. We have hands-on learning and work placement. So all of our programs have some type of work placement or work integrated learning. So a lot of hands-on opportunities outside of the classroom. Small class sizes as well, so you really get to know your instructors and your fellow students that are in your class and the campus in general. And our instructors have really great real-life experience, real-world experience. So they've come from industry or have worked with industry before, so they really are top of their fields, and lots of well-equipped facilities and technology. So you can see where the faculty are. There's lots of great technology and equipment in all of our shops, labs, and classrooms. All right, so here is a quick look at our campuses. So this is Nova Scotia, so we're on the eastern coast of Canada if you're new to the country. We have 14 campuses across the province, including our eCampus. So eCampus is where you would do all of your online learning, but otherwise these are our in-person campuses. Today we're going to be focusing on the Ivany campus, as that is where Oceans Technology is based out of, and it's the only campus that offers Oceans Technology. So Ivany campus is our largest campus, so it's nice and big. You get to meet lots of different students. You can see it's home to a lot of Design Innovation Center, the Center for Built Environment. So it's a lot of innovation is happening at this campus. A lot of technology programs are based here as well. We have a TV and radio news station. So some of our radio and journalism and television students are based here. So it's a really cool interactive campus. It's also home to the Aviation Institute, so that's where you would take aircraft maintenance programs, for example. So the student population is about 2,300 students. Another great option is campus housing. So as we speak, there's campus housing being built at the Ivany campus. It will be available to live in next fall, so fall of 2025. So if you aren't planning to join us this upcoming year, but you're planning to join us in a future year, campus housing is a great option. Housing in Nova Scotia is limited, so if you're able to stay on a campus housing facility, that's a really great option. So most of our campuses will eventually have housing. Right now, we have housing at the Strait campus, Truro campus, and Annapolis Valley. So in the works for sure for Ivany campus. All right, I'm going to pass it on off to the faculty, and they're going to delve a little bit deeper into the Oceans Technology program.
All right. I'll start. Sure. Okay, so like I said, I'm Stefan Kirchhoff. I teach here. I've been teaching for the past 6 years now in this program. You actually have, we're in our shop right now. And this is where we teach most of the courses that we teach. It's a shop that's stuck between carpentry and HVAC. It's got we have a couple of tanks in here so we can test gear and play around with different types of instruments that we have. It's not the only place where we, it's not the only environment that we evolve in. We also work at a cove. We have access to the wharfs over there, and we have small vessels that we use at cove. So that's the bigger picture in terms of our work environment. It's going to be here and at cove. So our program is a one-year program. It's 2 semesters of teaching, 2 semesters of sort of theory and a lot of practical, hands-on type of work, and 1 semester, the summer semester, which is going to start pretty soon, which is an internship semester where students are actually out to industry for 4 months, and that's in a nutshell our program. We do a lot of we do a little bit of theory, but we need that theory to help us with the hands-on courses that we take on. And so there's a lot of we sort of pride ourselves on being out there using equipment quite a bit in here in terms of testing, in terms of learning how to maintain them, learning how to use them, and then moving on to being at sea. Mostly in Halifax Harbor to actually use and gain experience with various types of equipment.
So the credential is a graduate certificate. It used to be called an advanced diploma. It's a relatively new program, so it's 10 years old. And one thing that was mentioned in the NSCC slide that Jessica went through is, small classes. So our class size is anywhere from 10 to 15. It can vary. So it's a relatively small class size. And when we later on we go through the schedule, like the Ocean Technology Graduate Certificate has a core number of courses, and basically, there's no electives. So when you enroll and you're here on campus for those 8 months, you're taking the same courses as all your colleagues in the graduate certificate. So you're a really tight-knit group, spending the full 8 months, September to the end of April, or I guess the 17th of April, if we want to technically call it, with a class. So you're really a class, like a tight-knit unit with, and when we introduce there, we're the faculty, the main faculty, and there's one other faculty that will join in with electronic courses, but you get to work with both myself and Stefan the whole time when we're here, and then as it continues into the internship as your alumni and into the workforce. So I think the next thing we'll talk about is admission requirements. So they're like with admission requirements, it's a diverse or like you need to have a post-secondary diploma or degree to get in. And there's a lot listed there on the screen, the same as on the web for getting in through admissions. So a lot of the diploma programs are through the NSCC. They will recognize other diploma programs within Canada, but it's easy to evaluate and move forward electronic engineering technology or geomatics or instrumentation. But on the bottom there, there's a number of undergraduate degrees or natural earth sciences and engineering. So the requirements are quite broad. Just a little like the majority of your colleagues that would be in here, over 50% typically have a natural earth science. And then following up with that would be some kind of technology or technologist. And then there is other types of levels of post-secondary and masters or postdocs actually. So so it can be quite broad with the admission requirements, and you with that you complement as a class, whether it's 8, 10, 12, 15. You know, not everybody has the same background, but as we go through the courses, everybody gets to, someone might be a bit more expert in one aspect, learning more on the other. So it's a really cool dynamic, having that diversity of backgrounds.
No, it's true to say that. It's important. The way we work, there is individual work, you know, but we like to get our students involved in group work, project work, and it usually lasts over, you know, it's more than just one session. It'll cover sometimes even more than one course. So, you know, we might have something in oceanography as a project, but it'll also include some navigational component to it, some mechanical components, some underwater imaging components, some safety components. You'll see, we'll talk about the different courses that we have, but we're big on safety. So we like to integrate, you know, the different courses into the projects. And the idea, and you can talk to the students that have been through here. A lot of it is project based at the end. It's working together, and it really, the idea behind it is that's what's out there. That's what's in industry. It is, you know, being able to work with people, being able to manage groups, manage projects. So we're big on that.
Yeah. So I think the next thing we'll talk a little bit. It's a good segue into this sample courses a little bit. So on the left, there's a list of courses. We have 14 core courses through the 2 semesters, plus the 3rd semester, which is a full course of internship. And then we have 8 types of safety courses, and let's call it seamanship certificates from Transport Canada / first aid and radio courses. So there's, you know, like Stefan was talking about, like each one of these courses, we'll go through the schedule in a bit, but each one of these courses help provide you a background learning so you can, you know, be able to relate to other folks who might have acoustic backgrounds. You might come in with no oceanography, you might not come in with no electronic experience, or so these things will help bring you to a level to feel comfortable to do that project related work as well as the theory and assignments and labs. But you know, it is important to know that there is a lot. We do, there is some courses that carry through from one semester to another. so they're a continuation. But what's important in this program with all the courses is each one of them are like an intro. So there's opportunities when you go into the workforce. You know, for instance, like you look at remote and autonomous vehicles, there's programs and there's certificates for ROV operators, so remote underwater vehicles and autonomous vehicles. Like you could continue in that field of study so that you get 60 hours of theory and practical use, and you could go through IMCA certifications and become a ROV operator with companies around the world. And this program here with that course is a familiarization of ROVs and capabilities, so that you just don't know what an ROV is, but you know what you need to do to be able to go use one, how much it will cost to get your company to go hire one. So a lot of practical aspects to all of the courses. Yeah. So
and it's interesting to mention this in the sense that the courses that we teach they're somewhat introductory courses, but they also give you the advantage to, if you want to dig in. And we have tools here, we have equipment here that allow a lot of students to do this. So there's only so much we can cover in AUV, USB, and ROVs, and same thing in oceanography, same thing in marine electromechanical systems, underwater imaging systems. There's only so much we cover, but at the same time, we're able to actually really, get specific samples of equipment that are typical to industry, and to give you really that opportunity to dig in and say, okay, I want to work with this more, I want to learn more about it. And you'll have that opportunity to do this here, either during the class, during the labs, during the field, projects that we have, or through your capstone project. So we'll talk a little bit about the schedule here, but over the 2 semesters, the 2 first semesters, there's a group capstone project that is, gets taken on by groups of students, and that's an opportunity to learn more, an opportunity to engage with others in terms of the college, with other faculty, with other students within the college, but also to really dig in and learn more about something that we might not be spending a lot of time on.
And to loop back to these core courses are linked together and project related, but a lot of the we are heavy into safety aspect for program and a college. So a lot of these other micro courses that need to be required and finished by during the first semester, so we can go out into the field and onto vessels, like onto different platforms. So there's when you enroll in this program, you get your Transport Canada small vessel operating proficiency, so you can drive a commercial vessel up to 5 ton. You have your marine emergency duties, you have your marine first aid, and you have your radio certificate as well. So you have all the basic to run a boat as a marine person, entry level 5 ton, essentially like a 12-meter boat, pretty big boat there you could run. So these all complement to be able to work with different types of oceanographic and scientific gear to deploy it and recover. So yeah, it's good to see the samples and talk about the courses, but like we look next at the example of the schedule. It's pretty busy. Our schedule's there. Classes go, there's some classes in the school, some programs that do 4 days a week, some do hybrids. So we're 5 days a week here at Ivy campus, in person. So, you know, it's typically from 8:30 until 3:30 or 4:30, for, you know, starting out with, and then as we do field work, the field work component, when we take a vessel out into the water, the class, it could start as early as 7 and go till like 5 or 5:30 in the early fall. You know, daylight hour type of thing, but we do types of field work even in whatever, November, December. We're looking at doing it in January, February. But you look at you know, these courses, there's courses that are 30 hours, and then there's courses that are 60 hours. So a 60-hour course would be like Intro to Oceanography or Oceans Project, but then there's 90-hour courses, and that would be seamanship and marine safety. So some courses we have 4 hours a week, some courses we have 6 hours a week, and then there's another final course that's the same with both semesters that we'll talk about later too. That's 120 hours, so that would be MMS, or Marine Mechanical Systems Electronic. So that's typically 8 hours a week. So there's, you know, it's a busy schedule. We do have, like, there's a hard time to, you know, you won't be able to have a part-time job, you know, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. So there is homework. You know, some students do have part-time jobs in the evenings and on weekends. And when we have like activities planned we have one big activity planned for when we go into the field for a week, you know, we'll have that notified for over, you know, over a month in advance. So you'll be able to accommodate that with your workplace. But the schedule, it's busy, but time goes by pretty quick. Yeah. I think this is
We just finished, our students actually just finished this just yesterday for the 2023-2024 cohort. So it feels pretty empty in here, but it hasn't been all year long. It's been quite busy. Alfred mentioned, you know, it is a small class that we have. We've had about 10 something students a year for the past couple of years, but we can pick up to 15 students in this workshop, which is really nice. Yeah, it's busy. Looking at the schedule there, you're seeing a couple of acronyms. So, and maybe I'll just go over some of the courses that we have. This is first semester stuff. So first semester courses. So Intro to Oceanography, this is something I teach. Seamanship and safety, that Alfred teaches that course. We have the MEMS, so Marine Electromechanical Systems course, which is a course that carries over from the first semester to the second semester. It's the same thing with underwater imaging systems. There's another course in the second semester. Underwater acoustics is another course that Alfred teaches. And then in there you'll also see, so there's a project course. So this is what we call Ocean Project, is what I mentioned earlier. It's the capstone project. So there is in the first semester 4 hours in the schedule dedicated to the group's work to work on their project. There's a bit less time in the second semester, but we strongly suggest students to stay, you know, and we're both Alfred and I are, you know, we stay here pretty late, and you know, students are welcome to stay and work extra hours to work on, you know, or to catch up or to ask questions. You know, probably till either 9 o'clock at night. No, but you know, relatively late. So yeah, so it's a busy schedule, but everybody's gone through it. People you get adjusted to it, and because it's a lot of group work, I think a lot of it is easier in that sense, also in terms of adaptation.
Following up with what you say there, Steph, like there is after-hour access after all the safety courses are complete. of September. So there is the ability to, you know, come in and do work like homework. Some work requires the lab, some work requires computers and recording. So there is the ability to come in to the campus. There's the campus, besides this, our shop, 3650 that we talked about, the Ocean Technology Shop. There's lots of computer labs and a big atrium with a, you know, library. There's lots of places that you can do work and comfortably at the campus. So, yeah. But looking at semester 2.
Yeah, maybe just what you can, I mean, we can move on to the second semester here. What you don't see on these, on this calendar, on the schedule, is the time we spent in the field, the time we spend on our boats. We have 3 boats, two small inflatable boats, and one bigger one, which is a 9-meter long cabin rib. So it's also an inflatable boat, which gives us access to the water. It gives us access to, you know, to mostly, like I said, the harbor. It allows us to test instruments. It allows us to go out at sea and deploy gear, which is really neat. So you don't see that on the schedule, and you wouldn't see it as a time slot from 8:30 to 10. It would be what we end up doing with Alfred is when we plan, you know, field activities, basically we plan it for the whole day. So, you know, classes move around. There's a lot of flexibility in our program to be able to move things around and take advantage of, you know, of good weather, take advantage of opportunities. We've often had companies invite us either on their boats or to their site, and we'll actually go and visit them. So we'll take advantage of that, and we'll basically shift things around in the schedule, or even sometimes, you know, skip things if it's to your advantage as students.
Yeah. So the second semester, you know, like Stefan was saying, there is some continuation with some of the courses. So underwater imaging, number 2, and mechanical system, electronic systems, and mechanical, marine mechanical systems 2, all the ones that have the 2 there, and projects 2. So those are continuations. There is some new topic courses as well, like navigation positioning, remote and autonomous vehicles, sampling systems and methods. And then inside there is an English seminar field camp that's mentioned as well. So, you know, and that's sort of looping back to what Stefan said, is this field camp, we go out for a week. So, you know, the week before March break, our schedule doesn't look like this year. It's everybody on a vessel out in Halifax Harbor, staying overnight and doing specific statements of work that are related to stuff that you've covered in the first semester, or new items that are highlighted here in the courses. So we're able to develop project-related learning to be able to take it out into the field for what we call inter-seminar field camp. But we also do that in the first semester, as well as outside of our week-long field camp in the second semester, where we're able to do you know, more hands-on learning that we'll touch on in just a little bit. But this year it's the same thing as the first semester. It's busy. There's a few days that are run over to 4:30. So, you know, it's all blocked up into 2-hour blocks. We take advantage of these, but and we can sometimes we have the ability to swap them over. But we know we're here from 8:30 till basically 4:30 Monday through Friday, and we look at those. Not only do we take advantage of good weather or go out in the field, but we take advantage of bad weather to get things done here inside this workshop. So there's no lost opportunities. Yeah, but there's quite a bit of similarity between both terms at Ivany. You know, they're 5 days a week, whatever, let's call it 40 hours a week. It's like a job, but it is good. So, but moving on to like hands-on learning, we talked about this where we talked like looking at, you can see the shop here, the workshop. We do a lot of different labs. So we do some instructional and then we break out some equipment and everybody works on it. So you can't see the cranes up overhead, but we have these test tanks that we're able to put things in the water, work with them in a controlled environment. You know, it's not -20, the boat's not rocking and rolling. So we get to experience in a controlled environment to see how the equipment operates and functions in real life, right here in the shop. And then with our proximity here at Ivy campus, we can work at COVE, the Center for Ocean Venture and Entrepreneurship. So they have, it's only right down the road, it's less than a kilometer away. We can walk there. So we've done multiple operations. Our vessels are tied up to a small wharf there, but it segues into, you know, working from the dock, but also working on our vessels. So, you know, there's lots of opportunities for hands-on learning. We have in the past, and we will in the future too, take advantage of these vessels of opportunity where there's larger vessels going into the field where we can send students. So one thing that's interesting that we do in the first semester, like that's a hands-on learning opportunity, is 2 students every week on Wednesdays attend with the Bedford Institute of Oceanography. They go out and they do water sampling. They watch and observe the TFO folks on the Sigma T for the morning to go out, and they have a time series, the Bedford Basin Monitoring Program that's been running for an extremely long time. Like, I think it's close to 20 years, but to put like it might be 17 or something, but it's been running for an extremely long time. And our students have been going and working like that type of program in fall, and what's to circumvent into it. Our students also, some of the students that have graduated, the alumni, they actually work there and continue to do the program. So there's lots of ways that students can get into different types of industry settings. And you know, our biggest industry setting is at the dock, on the water, but we're able to even simulate it here in our workshop in certain aspects that make it not just comfortable, but it makes it safe, and it makes it easier to understand. You can see everything with our tank there. You can see behind me, it's got a big window, so you can, you know, you're not just throwing something in the ocean and to the abyss and hoping it comes back. You can see everything function and watch how it affects it, watch it, see if it leaks, different stuff. So hands-on learning is a big thing to the program.
It's neat, and it's you know, Alfred mentioned the Bedford Basin Monitoring Program and our relationship with BIO and Dalhousie in that program, where we're allowed to get involved to let students be observers. Not that's, you know, that it's a first semester thing. We want students to be observers at some point and during the program, but we also, you know, by the end, we want them to be doers, right? We want them to start doing things, building things. We're involved in another collaborative effort with the Ocean Tracking Network, where we deploy gear every year in the harbor. We actually have an acoustic array system in the harbor, so we get the students to recover systems that have been put. Actually, they were just put in March, so they'll be the next cohort in September, October, will take part in retrieving some of these acoustic receivers, cleaning up, maintaining them, and rebuilding them for deployment in March so that'll be March 2025 for the next time around. So we're involved in this project, which is really nice. We reach out a lot to the industry partners to try to collaborate. you know, to be able to not only visit, but also take part sometimes in their testing. You know, if there's testing on at the wharf or on vessels, we take advantage of these opportunities, which is really important. I think both Alfred and I see the importance of getting the students to open up their network, see what the spectrum of things, you know, in ocean techs, the broadness of the field. So I think that's whenever there is an opportunity that comes up, we basically open it up to the students.
And I think part of that segs into the work integrated learning. So we talked about work integrated learning a bit before. So that's right now our students are getting ready to go on what's called an internship. So within the NSCC, there's 2 programs that have a 16-week paid internship. And so our students, part of the program to graduate, to get the graduate certificate, is you need to go, and it's a paid internship too. Let's not forget that too as well. So, but you know, it's really important to be able to go out there and, you know, as you network within the ocean community, to find a place like to, you know, to, if you have whatever kind of background you have, you can diversify it and go to a workplace that's specializing in something a little bit different. Use your background tools to help build your work experience. You know, this program, it's a really high success rate for internship. You know, like because it's a requirement to graduate. So there's as it leads into you, when you do an internship for 4 months, because there is different types of work integrated learning at the college, you know, you have an opportunity to continue there after you graduate. So, you know, a lot of students do that, and then some people might go back to academia or switch to stay inside the ocean sector, the ocean tech sector, and work with other folks. But it's this internship is a real important part of the ocean technology graduate certificate. Yeah. So, and I think we'll look at the types of industry we work with here. We did speak about field camp and industry seminar. So, and I know, Steph, you spoke about how, like, you know, where we can work with people like BIO and Ocean Tracking Network, like doing these real world projects. But when our program in the second semester is academically tied to industry, we go and visit up to like 20, it's usually 2 per week types of industry. So usually we go to their work spot and facility and do a tour and a presentation. But there is instances where they can come to Albany campus and do a presentation as well. But there's lots of connection to industry for the students. You know, one good example is, again, Cove, which is just down the road, where some of the pictures are taken on the slide. But you know, the Cove is it's a center for entrepreneurship in the ocean sector. There's a number of different tenants down there, NSCC and CTAC included. So, you know, we go to ocean connectors, be able to talk to all kinds of different industries. So being able, the program itself and the students, not only in the second semester academically, but when there's big opportunities to connect with industries in the first semester, we also take advantage of those too, because we see how important it is to build those relationships earlier on, where, you know, like there's a conference, if you folks are interested in oceans, September 2024, there's a conference here in Halifax. You should do your best to try and attend that. And if you're here in this room, you will be attending it with us. But all those things, like there's opportunities that come along that you know that are all about this program, and so we would don't pardon the pun here, but we wouldn't miss the boat. It's really important. Industry is the backbone of this program. Industry came to the college 10 years ago, and they worked with the NSCC, and they had a need. Part of the internship was the commitment from industry. So being able to connect all these students to industry is one of the main components of what the program does. Yeah. I guess, you know, we talked about the student success a little bit, but, you know, we stay in contact with our alumni, both in that picture. We stay in contact with a lot of the alumni, more than, so it is important that, you know, these graduates that are going out there, you know, we see the demand, and like we explained before, with internships, a lot of folks have an opportunity to continue where they've done the internship. There is, when you apply to do different type of government work, it might be specified as a 4-month non-continuing, but when you do internships, it could be for different levels of government, municipal, provincial, federal, or it could be for you know, nonprofits, which is sometimes soft money as well. But like a lot of the folks that go work for SMEs, but they also other types of industries too. They continue to work there. So we see with a lot of the type of announcements with the Ocean Protection Plan, you know, and the successes that are down around Cove, you know, the demand for ocean technologists right now is pretty, it's pretty good. Like there's, you know, we don't see a lot of this, even though we keep in contact with a lot of alumni, they're employed, and there's other opportunities to come up. We have a little job board that we deal with. But there's good opportunities out there. It is a relatively new program, 10 years old. So, you know, you have to remember you have some other kind of skill set when you come in here and you're applying it to the ocean. So, you know, some people do divert and make really cool electronic things or whatever, and it might not never be with the oceans again, but the growth within this industry seems to be on a, you know, it's diverse outside of just oil and gas. There's aquaculture, there's tourism, there's defense, there's all kinds of different types of markets that you can work in. So it's relevant, marine renewables as well, which is, you know, one that will hopefully flourish here in Atlantic Canada. So there's lots of opportunities for the students, for the graduates. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you summed it up. We try to, you know, we get our students to be industry ready. We give them a lot of different courses to be able to be out there, to go out there and basically, you know, get on the ground running there. So it's a program where we want to expose students to the gear, we want to expose students to the technology, but we really want to expose students to what's being done out there and connect, you know, give them those opportunities to connect with industry, to learn what they do, for them to get, you know, to get engaged later on and hired by these companies.
I think, you know, with the program, there's some things that we want to talk about with, when you come in here, associated with, you know, we need to, a lot of the safety gear we have to get, so the program fees, there's a lot of items listed on the slide here, but, you know, because we do work outside of this workshop, even some of the stuff we need here, so we'll review the stuff that's on the right-hand side there, the additional program costs, and try and help explain that. But, you know, because we go in the water, all weather gear is super important because we're in Nova Scotia, we're not on the equator. But, you know, we want to bring, we need a life jacket when we're working anywhere on the pier or on the boat. Steel-toe boots and safety glasses will be used in this shop and on the water. And, you know, we usually can provide you a hard hat if you want to bring your own, but we need hard hats here in the shop and out on the water. So we have two overhead lifts here in the shop, certified lifts that can lift a ton, but we also do a lot of overhead work on the boat. There's a few hand tools that you need for the program, mostly electronic, and a knife would help too sometimes. Knife and a flashlight are really helpful on both. But additionally, outside of the NSCC, usually with St. John Ambulance, the Marine Basic First Aid is included, captured in this table here, and a computer. So there, you know, we have a lot of different equipment, like safe work practices with equipment. We have, you know, it's different than electronic lab where we have 25 of 4 different things. We have, like, no word of a lie, like over 100 different pieces of gear, and they all essentially somehow talk to a computer.
Mostly to a PC.
Yeah.
Not that we don't like Macs, but we do like most of our instrument works with PCs. So it mentions a mid-range computer. It's nice to have a computer that has quite a bit of space on its hard drive. It's nice to have a computer that is, you know, relatively powerful. We do imaging work, so, you know, in terms of, you know, programs like Photoshop or equivalent, programs like Premiere, video editing, but also other programs in navigation, charting type of programs, and then we also have, you know, we work with programs that are basically programs that are used for USBs or, you know, ROVs, or so it's nice to be able to install these on your computers, and basically you can take that home with you. You can work on these programs outside of the lab. So having a good computer is really worthwhile.
Yeah, especially the open source ones, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you have your own computer, there is resources here at the school, but with your own computer and no administrator, it works a lot better. But like and the last item there are work gloves, really good in the shop and out the field. But those are the typical additional ones. Like the only thing to highlight, a lot of the items that are on the left are NSCC high level stuff. So like parking passes and healthcare. UPass is for all Metro. And of course, the tuition is a little different because it's a graduate certificate. So, but in general, that's the program fees. So, like, you know, there is a, you know, as it says here, they don't represent all the final amounts owing, but this is an estimate for the commitment outside of to come here and sit in this room. So yeah, there's a few other things I think that will cover about how to supplement the fees and stuff like that. So yeah.
Great, I'm learning lots here. So as Alfred mentioned, it is a financial commitment to come to NSCC, especially for a graduate certificate program. So just an FYI that we have over $3 million available in scholarships, bursaries, and awards. The portal has just opened at the end of March, so you can go in there now, whether you've applied or not, just to kind of see what opportunities are out there for awards. So it can be on a variety of things, financial need, career interests, leadership, volunteer experience, right down to could be specific to the county you come from in Nova Scotia or a different group you might be a part of. So lots of things to take a look at. We have webinars coming up too about student awards and how to apply for them. So if you're really interested, I encourage you to go into the webinar and kind of see the application process, and they'll walk you through the portal, but you can go right now to nscc.ca/student awards just to kind of see what's out there before you make the commitment. Another new feature for us at NSCC is a day in the life. I know that very recently we had an oceans technology student do a day in the life segment. It's not on our website yet, but I do encourage you to keep an eye on there. She gives a great overview of what a day in the life of an oceans technology student is like. Really great hands-on, showing you out on the water, classrooms, Ibany campus, all of those things. So keep an eye on the website to see her day in the life segment. So services and resources that are available at NSCC. We have lots of great advisors for a wide range of things. So once you become an NSCC student, you'll be assigned a student services advisor, and they'll be with you throughout your journey at NSCC and are there to help you navigate all of these resources. We have some events as well that will help you to get familiar with the campus, I guess. So Get Started is happening in May, so just a few weeks from now. That's kind of an opportunity to meet faculty, fellow students, see the campus, just kind of get familiar with NSCC. And then orientation will happen in September before classes start. We have lots of advising for different groups. So if you're part of the Indigenous or African Canadian or international communities, you'll have advisors for that as well. And you'll be able to access culturally relevant supports. Accessibility services. So if you have an IPP or documented learning disability, you can connect with an accessibility advisor on campus. And they can help you with things like if you need note takers, if you need extra time on tests, those kinds of things. There's also personal and career counselors on each campus, so they can help you with personal counseling needs that you might have or career counseling. Academic learning supports, financial support. So it's a very, very supportive environment at NSCC, and we like to see all of our students be successful. So a quick overview on how to apply. So hopefully we've convinced you to apply for Oceans Technology. You can explore the other program options on our website, and you can pick up to 2 per application. If you submit an application and all of the supporting documents, so for Oceans Technology, that would be post-secondary transcript. So if you've gone elsewhere rather than NSCC, so if you're coming to us from a university or another college, you'll submit your transcripts from there. And if you're an international student, you might need to submit language testing results or things like that. So you apply, submit all your documents. If there's seats available, then you're in. Applications are assessed based on the date that you apply, so the earlier the better. I did notice this morning that Oceans Technology is waitlisting international students. So if you are an international student and you are going to apply, you will likely be waitlisted, but we do have seats available for domestic applicants right now. Once you're accepted, you'll pay your non-refundable tuition deposit and just sit tight for your Get Started event. If you are waitlisted for whatever reason, don't panic. Seats become available throughout the summer. And our waitlists do carry over each year. So if you're not accepted for this upcoming intake, you'll be first in line for the next intake, which will likely be next fall. You can stay connected with us on all of our social channels. So we're on Facebook, X, and Instagram. Great chance to see those day in the life segments on there, or just keep up to date with what's happening around the college, all of the news. All right, so question time. We're almost at the hour, but we'll see what we can get through. If we don't get a chance to answer your question, or if you think of one after the fact, you can email recruitment@NSCC, and I can connect you with the faculty here as well for any questions you might have. Okay. see. So there's a question here. Does NSCC's Natural Resources Environment Technology qualify you for this program? I did a quick little search while we were while Stefan and Alfred were speaking. It's not listed as an approved program for oceans technology. It would have to be an engineering technology program. So unfortunately, NRET wouldn't be an admission requirement, I believe. Another question says, can I come in person at some point to learn more and ask about industry opportunities? Absolutely. We aren't doing program test drives right now, but you're able to book a campus tour at any point, and you'll be able to meet faculty if they're on campus. It's a little bit different throughout the summer, but yeah, you can visit a campus anytime to do a self-guided tour, or if you want something more personalized, you can do that as well. Okay. Okay, this one might be for faculty, so listen up. Can you get into the program with a diploma of physics, and can the program lead into marine engineering? Kind of a two-part question there. So I guess if your background is in physics, would this be a good program for you?
Yeah, so, you know, the faculty, most of the applications get reviewed by admissions, and if there's any, without having any documents, they all look at all the incoming documents, and if there's any questions, it typically goes either to our chair, who then has our academic chair, who then have some discussions with us. So in most instances, we don't do approvals or denials on any applications. There is a few things that can support your application outside of your academic career. So if you do have any work experience as well, marine related work experience. So I think it's worth putting that type of stuff on your application, especially when you get past admissions and into the academic chairs folder. And if, you know, you can, if you applied in the past to admissions and it's hard to get through, you can email, you know, you actually visit the chair office as well and go through that aspect. But the second part of your question, right?
No, but you can reach out to us directly as well,
Right.
right? Just like you said, just about your site. If there's something specific about what you've done in the past, your experience, and it's sometimes, you know, it doesn't look like you're making it through admission. It's really worthwhile reaching out to us directly. This is a good time for us. Our students are away on internship, and we have sometimes we're going to be working with different things. We have a lot of things to do, but we're basically going to be here. So we're going to be available for students for questions, for visits, definitely. So regarding the physics, the engineering physics, and then you know, an engineering degree, just as an example of the type of students that we've had in the past, we had PhD level oceanographers, we've had mathematicians come in, we've had engineers with mechanical degrees, we've had engineers with aerospace degrees. So the program is definitely, you know, with that kind of sort of science background, technical sort of background, is very open, it's very accessible. And again, depending on, you know, where you want to go or what you see as an interesting career or company, then it's sort of up to you with the networking opportunities that we give you to reach out to companies and to connect, basically, right? So definitely, you know, physics, yes, you know, are we big on math? Are we big on physics? No, we're not. There's, you know, it comes into play for sure, and then, you know, different sort of theoretical aspects of some of the courses that we have, but you don't have to be you know, a physical oceanographer or a physician, you know, or some sort of engineer in terms of physics or electronics or mechanical. Your math skills do not have to be to that level to be able to make it through this program.
Right, and I think that physics diploma, like if it was through the college, they would be able to assess it. They have the ones that are accepted, that they perform themselves. And anything that's not facilitated through the NSCC, they would have the ability to evaluate emissions. So, you know, it's worthwhile if it's not through, like the natural resource program is through the NSCC. So they have a way to evaluate that within, and then any other programs that are done at institutions that are in the province, out of the province, or out of the country, they evaluate that at a different level. So it's worthwhile an admission form per se. And even with the natural resource vote, the work experience, you know, could be applicable in some instances too. Like it's education and work experience. It can play a role. So, but I think the second part of the last question was marine engineering. So that would be more training at the Nautical Institute, the School of Fisheries. So there's some Transport Canada certificates that you get within the program here at Ocean Technology, but those can be built on, but there's no credit to like a first-class engineer for marine or that per se. So there's been students who have graduated that have become 150-ton, 500-ton captains. So you can go that route where you can get more qualifications, whether it's in the bridge or the engine room. But it's not, there's no credit to the nautical per se, no alignment. Yeah, does that make sense?
Right. Yep. Yeah. I think it's a good point though. Like if you have any questions about a specific, like, does this qualify me for the program? Is this background good? I think the recommendation is just to apply and submit your documents. An admissions team will look at it. So like Alfred mentioned, they do look at your work experience, or if you have any experience in the oceans industry at all, that can help kind of bolster your application. So yeah, I would recommend everyone just apply, submit your documents, and then admissions will kind of look at it, consult with faculty to see if it's equivalent to the admission requirements. So it's a good point. And I think that is the end of our questions for today, and we're at the end of our hour anyway. So thanks so much for tuning in to the webinar today. Again, if you have any questions at all, you can send it to recruitment, and I'm happy to pass it along to faculty or anyone else that can help answer the question. And we hope to see you in Oceans Technology in the future. But yeah, thanks so much for joining us today, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks.